There's such a wide variety of games nowadays that accurately judging each and every one of them is a near impossible task. This is mainly due to the vast array of factors like genre, art style and performance, all in need of careful consideration. In conversation, we are naturally most defensive when it comes to our opinions, so everything has to be thoroughly thought out if we're to find the confidence needed to voice our preferences. I believe that a lot of people lack this confidence to give an honest opinion just because they're scared of saying something that goes against the mainstream. The very premise of criticism is to be subjective.
That wasn't so bad.
Having someone disagree with you shouldn't be avoided but instead confronted, as it helps to either solidify or evolve your ideas for the better. And it's this fear of change that prevents some people from being entirely forthcoming with their thoughts, and therefore they aren't as critical as they perhaps should be about certain aspects of a game. Allow me to ask you a very simple question to illustrate this point. In your mind, think of a number between 1 and 10 that you would personally rate Cyberpunk 2077, okay? Have you thought of a number?
Yeah.
Good. Now I'll show you the score that IGN gave it. You did not think it would be that high.
Something feels off here.
You don't say.
What they did was create a main review for the PC version, where they were less critical of all the game-breaking bugs, while they then made a second review for the console version of the game, which has a score that I believe is a far more accurate representation regarding the quality of this release. It seems to me that IGN is trying to alleviate all the negative feedback surrounding this game, but now I'll ask, why is Cyberpunk getting this kind of special treatment? There are plenty of games out there with console editions, but you don't see them making separate reviews for the 65 different versions of Tetris available. Also, the score difference is so severe, I can only imagine that they've completely ignored all the bugs and performance issues just for the sake of giving the PC version a better rating. It's not like these problems were exclusive to PlayStation, and I would argue that the game's core functionality is the principal thing to consider in a review. Yet it seems that IGN would rather turn a blind eye to this than provide balanced critique. Let me say this. Having a console edition is not a valid excuse to escape criticism. Consoles are designed to run the industry standard, which feature affordable and yet premium hardware able to support even the most demanding games. God of War, Uncharted 4, Red Dead 2.
Would you be interested in some friendly competition?
Spider-Man. Each of these games all look remarkable in their own right, and yet every single one of them are perfectly capable of being played on the standard PlayStation 4.
Well. Get it? You know, because it's a well.
Right now, it seems that companies just don't give a fuck about the quality and performance for a game. They're all chasing impossibly good visuals without giving a second thought as to the effect that might have on a game's playability. An excellent contrast to all this is Superhot. You should surely remember the striking visuals it had. It's a clear demonstration that a game doesn't need to accurately emulate real life to stand out. In fact, slap on some realistic textures and it will be worse off for it, because the changes to visual clarity and decreased performance would have gotten in the way of what's actually important. And that's what a game critic has to retain a keen understanding of: their priorities. As I stated at the beginning of this video, I don't believe there to be a perfect scale which can accurately judge every new game. Nevertheless, I've created my own system which I think at least covers everything that I value. Gameplay, graphics, performance, writing.
It's driving me nuts.
Minutia. These are all things that are most important to me when playing a game, and as such from now on, they'll all be scrutinized when I review one. Each section can obtain a total of 2 points, 0 if it's not to my satisfaction, 1 if it met my expectations, and then a 2 if it exceeded them. So if I rate a game, as an audience you guys will know exactly how I arrived at a verdict and what I felt the game was lacking.